So from the last episode, you can see that we made quite a bit of changes between last episode and this one. This area was pretty bland. We had, just some outlines of trees. So got the trees in, got some different boxes that are storing our honey. We've got mounds of honeycomb. I don't know if that really happens, but it's a little detail that I wanted to add so that when you're walking through the city here, that you get these little peaks of color and it kind of interests you to come through. So I want to show a little bit real quick of why we did some of the sightlines that we did. So the idea here is that when you're coming out this way, we put a tree in here and here to kind of give us some of that height, but yet you get those little peaks of yellow that kind of intrigue your eye to come around and you get the reveal of the building. So we got that all done. We got a tree here, we got a tree there, and I even got a little house back here in the back. Now, this was really just to kind of help round out this corner. We had kind of a strange view where there wasn't anything in the foreground. We just had the big copper shop in the back. So I really wanted to kind of blend your eye into the foreground here. And we got some little trees set up. The path now comes down and connects to a pathway that Millie created that goes out to, I think, Melissa's area and over here to the shop or the spawn village. So we got a nice little spot. Eventually we'll put some kind of building in here, and a cow is out. Now these cows keep getting out, and I think we don't have very many cows left in there, but I can't figure out where they're getting out. Oh well. So as I've been working on a lot of these builds, I noticed that I use a bunch of different woods there, a bunch there, some over there, and I keep harvesting them myself. And so I started asking myself, should I build a farm here or should I just go to the shop? But then I couldn't remember if there even is a shop. So we need to go check this out, and if there isn't, maybe that's what we do today. So we have the Thriftworks, but I don't think this one actually stocks wood. I think it's, just a whole bunch of odds and ends. So that's not gonna work. What about I got junk? Let's see if Lane stocks any wood in here. Nope, doesn't look like it's in here either. Okay, the shopping along the river, it's gotta have some, right? Let's see, that's Come Fly With Me. That's gold. This is the Chocolate Moon. That's all just mud and mud bricks. Prismarine. The End. What is this one? Oh yeah. Not gonna be in there. This is wax. This is ink. And what's the newest shop down here? Does it say? I don't remember. Oh, this is a bunch of blocks. So it looks like we don't have a wood farm, so it might be time that we take it on. So there you go. I've been asking around the server where we can get wood, because every time I do one of these projects, no one has started a wood farm, and we're this far into the season. So I decided it's time for us to take one on and build it ourselves. And I wasn't too happy with putting a wood farm too close to here, but if I haven't shown you this, I've kind of marked out a whole big area. So there's where we've been working. I want to put even more stuff in here, and as you can see, I've started marking out a future wood farm over here. Is wood farm the right term? I don't know, maybe it's a tree farm, but either way, I've started marking out kind of a building idea. We've been looking at what the trees setup would be, and I think we've kind of got all the different ones. Now the idea here is I don't want to put some big industrial building in here that farms all the logs. This is still going to be manual, but manual is actually not that bad because we do have a bone meal farm, so we can grow whole lines of trees. We can get the big ones growing at any time, come chop them down. So it'd be nice to have a manual one, automatic one, but I think manual is going to be fine with kind of where we're at in the season. So just like I always do, I've been kind of planning things out. I think I do need to break this down one more layer because I've started marking out a building concept. Now, the idea with this building is that it would kind of have like 3 big garages where maybe forklifts are coming in, putting in the logs, and then, I don't know, I think we're going to do like a sawmill over there eventually. Not in this episode, because I think we've got a lot just to put in the farm, put in the building. And as you can see, again, I'm playing with some colors. And this one we might not go as bright on the main building like we did with the bees. We might go with kind of factory type colors and then a cool roof. We can't do a boring roof. This is a city of color, so I think we're going to do some orange. But to get going, I think I need to start with the tree farm. I want to get some of the trees up and growing so that as we build the building, we'll already have the trees that we can cut down, leverage that to build in our different inventory that we're going to put in there. Couldn't think of the word there for a minute. So let's get busy and at least get a concept down for what the trees, how they're going to be laid out, what it's going to look like, and then we'll build it all out. All right, a little status update here. I think we are making pretty good progress. So what I've done is, as you can see, we had those up a little high, lowered that down, started putting the signs in, roughly helping us know where this is going to sit. So all the saplings will go in here. In this row, they'll go there. In this one, they're going to be spaced a little tighter across this way, but we're going to do 2 rows. So a row there, a row here. And you know what, y'all? I'm looking at this and I think it's wrong. I think this is looking kind of funny. Like, I don't know why there's a gutter in there. So I think we might swap out this block with something a little bit different. And this moss is getting a little too repetitive. I think we might need to either bring in some grass, which might be the wrong color, or maybe we'll try light or dark concrete powder with it. So I'm going to go get some of that. We're going to explore a little bit more of what it looks like because I don't want to get it all done and then find out it's wrong. And then the other thing you'll notice is I lined it up wrong. There are some places where I need to go out 1 more block this way. So we're going to have to push everything from this side out 1 block. But that's fine. That's what we do. We play Minecraft with survival, not building everything out in creative. So we're going to just roll with the punches and we're going to go get some more moss. And if I haven't shown you that yet, let's fly over here. This is something that I built at the beginning of the season because I knew I wasn't going to love the grass look all the time and that I wanted to have moss. So down here in the basement of my building, we have a moss farm. So if you haven't seen this, we were running this like crazy at the beginning. And look at all of this moss. Oh, I guess it stops there. But we've got plenty. I might run it again if we run short. But I'm going to grab some, head over, and we're going to experiment and see if we can get something that looks pretty good. Well, it looks like we got more than just a little bit. I was going to do that half. It was looking pretty good, so we spread it to this half. And I think now that we're getting the trees in there, let's back up a tiny bit. You can really kind of see how it's going to look a lot like a tree farm area, not just a bunch of random trees. Now, I don't know how I feel about kind of this wall. I thought about maybe spacing it out every other one so that it looks like a tree farm. I don't know. What do y'all think? I'm not sure. I'm going to leave it for now because I want to get the wood supply up. And then maybe once it is, then we'll separate them to every other one. So as you can see, we're trying to get all the different saplings. We still have a couple different rows to plant here. And some of the trees aren't going to fit very well in this area. I planted some of the cherry trees and they just don't grow well. So we're going to have maybe the jungle, cherry trees. I don't know. I don't know if we can do it all. And I realize there's even the crimson and warp trees that we don't have. And there's bamboo. Oh man, guys, I may have gotten in a little too deep on this one. But for what we have, I think this is looking pretty good. We got a fence. We've got the street in, or I guess the path in. We're going to add some details around here so it isn't just the trees. But one thing I didn't think about is I thought for sure moss wouldn't let podzol grow. Well, this one grew and we have podzol. So we're going to have to come up with a solution. One of them I came up with that I think is going to work pretty well is if you look at the moss texture next to the concrete powder, I put in, and I'll break one of these, some of these, what are these called? Not acacia, azalea bushes. And if we do that, I think that's going to still give us the texture. Obviously, it's a color shift change, but it still goes well with that. The only problem is that everywhere that there is moss, we need to go through and put these down. So that's going to be a little bit of a task, but no problem because we kind of have a natural barrier of where it's going to spread. So that won't be too big of a deal. So I'll have to probably bring it out to here, all through that. Not a big deal. It's a little bit of a pain, but that'll be just fine. Because really, I just want to have a cool tree farm, make something that looks good. This is kind of the whole area between what we have built over there and kind of where Tobes and I forget, maybe that's K-Hug up on the top of the hill. But I wanted to kind of create a barrier so we knew where our area was. And as you can see, we've kind of got some paths marked out. We've obviously got the buildings there. We've got the farm here. And that'll be kind of what we're going to use to focus on for the rest of the season. So what's next? Well, as you can see, I've got a building here. So it is time to get that up. I'm going to pop it up real quick. This is actually going to be pretty easy because it's got, at least in my brain, those are windows. These are doors. Shouldn't be too much of a building. So I'm going to jump in and let's get this knocked out. Okay, I got the most exciting or maybe boringest part down. We got the floor in. That's a good first step. I kind of know where I want my pillars. So let's talk about the color scheme. So I think what we're going to do here is the main building are going to be kind of these browns. We're going to have an orange roof and we're going to stick in some spruce here. Couldn't think of the word for a minute, but I think with how many different colors of brown, I think this color palette, even though it's a little on the safe side, I think the orange is going to give it enough pop and the rest is going to make it feel like maybe a factory. That's kind of the look I'm going for, because what my thought is that out here we'll have like a yard type area where some forklifts are driving around, that these would be doors they could actually come in and bring the supplies in. So we'll have a door here, a door here, a door here, and a door down here. Now originally I only had this as 3 bays, but because there's 11 different types of wood, we're going to have quite the area to sell them all in. So I'm going to come in and now let's just knock out the walls. I won't get the details, but let's at least get the walls in. Make sure that's looking good, kind of the shape, and we'll see if we've got something. All right, now that I'm getting some of this in and realizing that there is a big old brown mountain on either side of this build, like if we look at it, look at how much that blends in. Now we're going to be able to break some of that up because I'm thinking we'll put like some kind of an extra tree over here or something to kind of give us something in the middle ground. So we got something in the foreground, something in the background. And so over here, I think it's just maybe getting too brown. So now my idea is I wonder if I should introduce kind of a separate color. So maybe like these bays, instead of it being brown, maybe we do some color in there. I don't know, maybe a bone block goes in there, just to give us a little bit of texture like we're doing out here. Ooh, that could work. Now what that means is that we come over here and our color palette is growing a little bit big here. But I think that's going to be really nice because these were almost really the same in value. I know it's a little bit higher and lower, but I think this will give us just that little bit more contrast in the build. Do we try it? Oh, why not? This is survival Minecraft. Let's give it a try, see if it works, because I don't want this to just be a boring brown building. So I'm going to stick that in. Let's get at least the facade done and see if that concept helps. And magically a facade is up. Oh yeah, I think this is the kind of the contrast I'm going for. Now I wish I had some stairs. I might swap some of these out with quartz. But I think that is starting to give us kind of the look I'm looking for. Now this is going to look pretty boring and maybe you're going to think, what is Cube doing? Well, we've got a good plan. Once we get the orange accents in here, I think we're going to have an orange roof. I might even do some orange trap doors above this, make it look like a little bit of an awning. So right now it might look a little crazy, like what am I doing? But I promise we're going to get there, guys. Trust the process. This is the one thing when you're building to keep in mind is once you've set a base, that's where you can start going in, adding a lot of the details that are going to take this from what is going on to something that looks pretty good. So we're getting to that stage. So I'm going to start working on the details. Now we're going to have to go get some acacia. Now, luckily I've planted a farm back there, so we can go do that. But I think once we get the details on here, you'll realize that maybe I'm not as crazy as it looks right now. So let's get those details in. Okay, now that we're starting to get more of the details in, you can see it's finally starting to get to looking a little bit better. Now, I put some trapdoors along here, and I didn't love that it was so much acacia, but I want to keep it the orange theme. So I got to show you this new shop that is kind of by our area, so you may have seen it in the last episode, but it is the copper shop. This thing is so huge, and it's actually pretty cool. So let's see if I can fly down in here. I'm going to show you kind of how it works. Let's see what the signs say. Welcome to the copper shop. Step 1, place diamond in appropriate chest. Oh, okay, it looks like each of them is labeled. Step 2, press the button for the desired item. Step 3, receive items below the central hopper. Oh, that's what that is. That is a copper hopper. I get it. So it must shoot it up through here and drop it down. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to look and see 16 diamonds for the trap door. I said 16 diamonds. 1 diamond for 16 doors. Okay, I think that's what we need. So let's get into our ender chest. Let's get out a few diamonds here. And I think we'll start with some of these. Now, I don't know. Do they come in waxed? I don't think so. So we might have to wax them ourselves. No problem. Let's put a diamond in there. Push the button. The light goes on. And let's see. Come on. Oh, there we go. Was that all 16? Oh, perfect. Now it's going to make it a lot easier. We won't have to get as much copper, so we might as well get a little bit more here. I don't know that we need 32, but I really love this dynamic. Oh, we just saw them. They fly through there, it looks like. Go around. I think there's a bowl that splashes around, and then they come down. Perfect. Got our 32. We're ready to go keep building. And a whole bunch of details later, we have timber time. All right, you probably saw this from the thumbnail, but we got it built. Now, I was showing some of the people on the server, and they said it had Home Depot vibes. I don't know about that, but now that I see it, oh man, maybe we did go a little Home Depot vibes with the orange and the brown, but I think it's going to work pretty well. Now, one thing you'll notice is that we have all the different logs in here. We've got a place for people to get their money out. And then the rest back here really is just going to be for my farming. So I can come in, farm them out. We've got 2 separate oaks. Now the nice thing with this is it's high enough that if we ever need to up production of a different tree, then we can do that. But as you see, we have all the different tree types that we really are going to go through. But some of the others we're going to have to plant out here. And so we've still got another little project, a little side place where we can do the cherry and jungle and maybe the mangrove. But we're not going to get to that in this episode. But we did get some guys driving the forklifts. Now I got to get some better heads. So hopefully we'll get some of those soon. But overall, this is the look of our wood farm, our timber time. Almost forgot the name again. But we've got all this in. But y'all, we got a big problem. I don't know if I can stock all of this. If you really look at all these different things, there's some in here, nothing in here, nothing in here, a little bit. Like, I don't know if I can stock what, 11 times, what is there, 27? So we're getting up to almost 300 stacks of logs. I'm not going to be able to have time to do that. That's going to be way too complicated. So I think between this episode and the next, I'm going to put out a little booth here and see if I can get some of the other crafters to come in and help me with these logs. And maybe they'll just take over the profits. Maybe I'll charge them, I don't know, a monthly fee where they can supply a type of wood and I charge them a diamond or two. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out offline, but I can't do this. It's too much. So if you know of a crafter who is wanting to get in and make some money, let them know. But y'all, that is going to do it for this episode. That was a pretty big project to take on, and I think it turned out amazing. Now, I've still got some other land around here that we can put a few other buildings. So if you think of something that is timber related, let me know and I'll put it in the next episode or two. But until then, we'll talk to you soon.